You all made an attempt to get in. Your dog was impounded. You had to bribe a guy. Overall, not super successful for a week. You did get a contractor's license, Mr. Price, and
Fuck yeah.
you do have plans for the coffee shop. We're gonna open on you guys at the coffee shop, and it shows the date line and says where you are, and then we kind of pull in from the outside into a car, and we see Price sitting in a car with a box of donuts, looking at the coffee shop. The camera pulls back out and goes up to the top of the building that's across the way from the coffee shop, and we see Tacitus on top of the coffee shop, and there's a Pelican case near him. And then the camera sort of jumps over the edge of the building and drops down to street level, and we see Judith watching the coffee shop from behind some closed racks or like shop racks. What do you guys want to do?
Did I bring donuts with me up top to the roof?
Sure.
I'm gonna eat one of the donuts.
Okay. And we see the camera and open the thing. There's a few that are missing, and you clearly have been here for a while. Judith has like a granola bar or something she's taken out of her purse.
Healthy choice.
I
That's
try
what
and
my
keep
wife
my
is, so.
I try and keep my figure.
If I remember right, the last thing we were supposed to do is to set up cameras and shit of our somewhat successful stakeout. Was that where we ended?
Yeah, you guys are hanging out around the place, but I believe that was part of your plan. So you guys have sort of reset up, and I guess maybe are planning to put some cameras up or something. Doing some more live surveillance before you set up the cameras.
So what time is it?
I'm gonna say it's like 11 in the morning, maybe 12, like right before noon. You've probably been here for 5 or 6 hours at this point.
Do I see... What do I see in the coffee shop? Just normal bustle?
Yeah, just normal bustle, nothing that seems out of the ordinary. You see a couple of people coming out the back occasionally to smoke, but nothing out of the ordinary, really.
The people coming out the back, are they wearing uniforms?
Yeah, they look like they're probably coffee shop attendants, baristas and people who work in the kitchen making sandwiches and that kind of thing.
What if we got a job as a coffee shop barista?
You guys all have like comms to each other too, like you have your phones or whatever, and they're all on speaker or maybe in like an earbud or something.
Judith, do you have any coffee making skills?
Are you asking me to bring you coffee? Because I don't do
No. That was not my question.
that. I am not a secretary, damn it. That is not why I was hired. I'm a pilot. Coffee making / bringing is off the table.
I like that. I know that Judith probably doesn't have your voice, Tim, but sometimes I like to believe that she does. Like, damn it, I don't make coffee. Oh.
I just picture him looking like that really angry Russian chick from Dodgeball.
Oh, God.
So were we planning on setting up cameras around on the outside?
That was the
that
idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, set them up on the outside, watch them, and then when we figure out when they actually leave, sneak in at night.
So maybe what we say is that you did that and you got some information and now you're sort of following up on that information. Can someone make a security roll to like go through the footage and determine like security intelligence to like determine when the weak spots are, when you can get in?
Anyone have a good security stat?
Nope.
Mine's at -1.
Mine too.
And we all have the same ent.
Yep.
Yeah,
so
so
you,
someone-
Judith,
Okay.
Yeah, so it looks like the coffee shop is personed at all times. Um, you're not sure if you only watched it for a couple days. There's only like 2 days of footage there. But it looks like there's someone in the coffee shop 100% of the time, which itself is a little bit weird. Because I mean, it's a coffee shop. Who cares if it's staffed all day, all night? It's not 24 hours. It should shut down at some point. People should go home. But there's somebody who stays every night. It's a different person each night. That's about all you got out of it, though.
What if we pulled the fire alarm?
At night?
That's gonna have emergency services there in 2 minutes.
Well, not even so much for that. We don't need long. Just do it in the middle of the day, try and get a little bit of chaos going, and then just quickly go and set them up and go out with the fire alarm. I mean, how long does it take to set up these cameras?
Yeah, you would know that. It takes, they're basically self-adhesive, so you just stick them on the wall. Takes a few seconds, but you got to know where to put them.
We don't need a long distraction. We just need a distraction.
I'm still leaning towards the night option just because there's less people around. And last time we tried to pull off a plan when there were a lot of people around, it sort of complicated things. It was more of a hindrance than an actual boon.
It was only for that dumb hipster that didn't like having Bandit around.
Well, it was the hipsters, it was the cops, it was the other people in the street.
Okay,
That
fine.
stole our car.
Yeah, the guy that carjacked us is a bit of a douche. I'll give you
Y'all
that.
got pretty unlucky. That's all I'm gonna say.
If we go in at night, I would want to know where this at least one guard is so we can attempt to avoid them. But even at that point, it's going to be difficult because it doesn't appear to be a big coffee shop.
Yeah, I mean the whole coffee shop is probably like you've been inside of it, so it's like a McDonald's size building. It's maybe 25 feet by 25 feet, like square. Not huge in the front part, and then there's probably about a similar size back half.
Question on the architectural diagram.
Mhm.
Does this building have a ventilation system?
Yes, it does.
I'm not sure this is possible, but if we pumped some sort of gas in, we could maybe have the guard fall asleep.
Yeah, and based on your architectural diagram, you know that the roof has like a exchange, right? So it's got it's for the whole building, so there's like a vertical above it, right? And it's only like one floor above it, but that's like apartments and stuff. It's actually accessed by the other building. So it's sort of like the building next to it is T-shaped and sort of overleans and takes over that top half. So there's no access to it, but the ventilation system and electrical and all that stuff is shared.
What do you think of the gas idea?
I like it.
I like it myself as well, so long as we can get access to some type of gas we can use to knock him out.
So we could always use CO2, but that might kill him.
Ears off for a second.
I thought that was Sarah for a second.
No, she's in the other one watching a movie.
Nice.
Yeah, so CO2 is an option that you could do. If you could get CO2.
Yeah, just enough to knock him out, but not kill them. A dead body is probably going to raise a couple eyebrows.
Usually does. Do any of you have tech medical?
I don't.
I
think
have a 0 in it.
Butch might also have a 0 in it, so you can always evaluate a plan against your tech medical and see how much you know about how dangerous it would be and so on.
Worst case scenario, we could always just use a ballista bat.
Well,
What's that?
You didn't watch the video I posted in the middle of the week, did you?
No.
That's so disappointing. It's about a 12-minute story on basically an old D&D game on how someone did something ridiculously silly, like we typically do.
it's the punchline of the story is it's amazing what you can do when you have a potion and a really high strength score.
Pretty much. And you're crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So you did watch it, Joe.
I did. All right, so what are you guys thinking?
I'm thinking knockout gas is a good idea.
I'm thinking we hit up our underworld contact from last week. See if we can get some medical supplies for
Who's your
knockout
underworld
gas.
contact? That's the guy that sold you the thing, right? For
Yeah,
your mass
last week
spec?
I got a card from Aiden Boyle
Aiden
for
Boyle.
discount science equipment.
So that's one good possibility. The other is, I mean, can't we knock someone out with something like helium, potentially?
So I'm
Although
gonna
that
get
will rise because it's lighter than air. Never mind.
let me hold on. Let me give you a little science lesson real quick. You can knock someone out with any gas at all. In fact, including oxygen. You can knock someone out with oxygen. It just is a matter of whether or not they'll get back up afterward. There's lots of knockout gases in the world, and pretty much any gas will go through 3 stages where it knocks you out and then it kills you. It doesn't matter which. In a super high oxygen environment, you can suffer all sorts of different weird effects. Your body needs nitrogen too, and it gets most of that through the air. So you can knock someone out with any gas. It's just a matter of how hard it is to get that gas and whether or not they'll get back up afterward and what it will look like if they don't. Killing someone with oxygen and then letting that oxygen dissipate just makes them look like they just died. But killing someone with argon will look very clear to someone. It'll have physical effects.
Or even using just carbon monoxide. Potential leak there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We could. I imagine this place has got a nice industrial refrigerator. I'm not sure what the substance in the refrigerator is. That could be a good cover if I can figure that out.
Do you have tech post tech?
Um,
And also,
I have
just because
zero in it.
it's a -1 doesn't mean you can't roll against it. Like you can always roll, but
Yeah, I've got a point in tech post tech.
yeah. If you want to roll, I can tell you what kind of. You probably could guess what kind of freezer it is. It probably has details on the readout, like the blueprint.
I'm gonna roll to see if I can figure out what sort of refrigerator they have. Is it wisdom?
Intelligence, I would
wisdom.
imagine.
No.
Because you're just looking for knowledge of something, not trying to get advice or figure out how to do something.
All right, makes sense. I'll use intelligence.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, so looking at the plans, you were able to determine that it's using a Freon heat pump, which is a very simple style of heat pump. It pumps a Freon gas into a condenser where it's condensed down to a liquid, which removes a lot of energy from the system, pumps that through into the fridge, collects all the heat energy, pumps it back out. There's not a ton of Freon in the system. Freon is a complex molecule. It's not just a pure gas. I don't actually know what its constituent parts are, but you probably don't. You probably would just get Freon. It is a. It wouldn't be called Freon. It would be. It's a chlorophore chlorofluorocarbon, and it's a refrigerant. It's a very, very old technology, basically. The first CFC was synthesized in 1890 in our world, and I guess in this one too. Um, it's not commonly used anymore. It is. If you want to roll tech medical, I can tell you whether it's super toxic or not. But
I will roll tech medical to learn that information.
yeah, so you know everything there is to know about Freon. Um, so basically, CFCs, HCFCs are colorless, volatile, toxic liquids. So they tend to go into gas form, as that's what volatile means, and they're toxic, so they will kill you. They have a faintly sweet odor. Overexposure in concentration about more than 10% is going to cause dizziness, loss of concentration, central nervous system depression, and/or cardiac arrhythmia. So death. The vapors displace air and cause asphyxiation in confined spaces. They aren't flammable, but they're combustion products. So if you force them to heat up and explode, create hydrofluoric acid and similar compounds.
So would you say death is possible?
It's a pretty good bet.
Okay.
And yeah, I mean, from your medical note, you probably have like seen someone at some point be exposed to, maybe when you were an astrogator's mate, like in the cafeteria, there was a Freon leak and someone got hurt. Maybe not died, but probably came close.
I still think this is a pretty good option because it gives us good cover. And I can't think of another gas that wouldn't look suspicious. That wouldn't look suspicious.
Well, what about carbon monoxide?
What would be the... Yeah, go ahead.
It's an odorless gas that can easily knock out. It also has the potential to kill. Can I roll tech medical to determine how much I know about carbon
Sure.
monoxide?
Absolutely.
See, so I can effectively potentially bullshit out my butt without looking
Yeah,
stuff up.
absolutely. I will tell you what you know. So the first of all, take 50 XP for saying, "Can I roll this thing?" I like it when people do that, and so you get XP for doing it.
Yay.
When you tell me what roll you want to make, probably gonna say yes most of the time, or I'll find a tweak to that. I'll be like, "Yeah, but you need to do this." Based on your 7, you know that carbon monoxide is colorless, odorless, very common if there's a heating system problem, if they have any space heaters, or if they have anything that produces a lot of heat, will probably produce carbon monoxide in addition to that. And it will kill in relatively low concentrations. It doesn't take all that much because it displaces air. So in a poorly ventilated environment, it's very dangerous. In a relatively well ventilated environment, like the open front of the store or the kitchen, it's probably not going to do much damage. It'll give someone a headache, make them feel kind of crappy, but not going to kill them. If they're in like a more enclosed area, like what you see on the diagram of the office, they're more likely to be hurt.
So that's another possibility as well, considering it's a coffee shop. There's likely going to be heating elements as well, aside from just space heaters, such as espresso machines.
I like this idea because it's odorless.
The odorless is a nice touch.
And I bet you this stuff is dirt cheap. Alright, so here's the plan I think we've got. We acquire some of this, possibly through my medical underworld contacts. We go at night. We pipe it in through the roof, put some vac suits on, head in, set the cameras up, bounce.
Once we determine that he should indeed be knocked out, I would agree. Based on my roll, Joe, do I know how long it would, on average, take for someone to get knocked out by some CO?
Yeah, depending on the rate of dispersal, the size of the area that's being infected, like not infected, but like gassed, and so on, it will take anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes. And you can control the rate to make it take 5 minutes or make it take 10. If you make it go faster, there's more potential for concentrations to build up that are because it's not totally regular, right? Like it's going through a system and being circulated through a building. Uh, so it's not. There's going to be points where it's like super concentrated in one area and totally dispersed in another. So for it to be even and figure that, excuse me, that you got it all evened out, you can push the rate up higher, but you're more likely to kill someone who might be, exposed innocently. And if you let it take longer, it'll build up its concentration more evenly because it's going in slower.
All right. I would vote if we do go that route, we let it in go nice and slow until a point where it should knock them out. We then go in with vac suits, hook it all up, go in quietly just in case they haven't fully been knocked out yet. Then get out and cut it off, and then walk away. And no one will be the wiser.
Sounds like a pretty baller plan.
How noticeable are vac suits going to be, though, if we're walking around in that shit?
Vac suits
night?
look like hazmat suits. So they're, bright yellow and...
We won't have them on at the time. Could put them on shortly before entering.
We just better have a good hiding spot, because
We'll be on
some
a
cop
roof.
might walk up to you and ask you to empty out your vac suit bag onto the concrete. Just saying.
We'll be on a roof.
All right.
Unless cops are coming up onto the roof in the middle of the night for some reason. I think we'll be okay.
3 suspicious people with fucking hazmat suits on the roof. Nothing suspicious here.
Well, we can just send one guy on the roof, and then the other 2 can be the insertion team.
So we'll have 2 guys in hazmat suits on the ground waiting for this guy to get knocked out.
That's one option.
Which case now we have 2 guys in hazmat suits lurking around a dark alleyway in the middle of the night.
We'll just hang out behind the building. It'll be fine.
I mean, you have a car, so you can hide in the car.
That might be a better option than alleyway.
All right. I think this is a good enough plan.
Well, let's first go get our gas, because that's going to be kind of important.
I'm gonna... Did this guy's card include his number?
It has a like a dark web ID that you can get in touch with him.
Well, you go, guys, figure that out. I'm going to go to the bathroom and make some boom boom. I shouldn't have had that beef and bean burrito.
Oh God! I make boom boom. I need to take a second.
J. Fred, you have to make an NPC that pops in the game now. It is a beef and bean burrito.
Oh God. Oh. Okay. I need to go make poo poo. Oh Jesus. Oh God. Oh, my head hurts now.
I've added a new goal. And when you're ready, I'd like to try to contact this guy.
You added the top one there?
Yep.
Okay. Oh Jesus. And I think there was someone. Was there someone else with the goal slot that wasn't filled? Oh, there it is. That. Okay. Yeah. So you can contact this guy. What do you say to him? It's like an email thing.
I'm looking to acquire a quantity of carbon monoxide gas. Do you have that?
Okay.
Looking forward to hearing from you.
Add a smiley face.
Fire! No! Please come quickly. To whom it may concern. I'll just put this with all of the other fire. Anyway, yeah. So like even just a couple minutes later, you get back like a text on your phone. And because you like emailed this to the dark web thing, but this is like on your personal number, so it's that sort of thing. And it's just like YAM8 space BRT space GUV.
Can I
So
roll something to see if I understand that?
that's what it says. And what could you roll? I don't know
Be
what,
right
what
there, Gov. Okay. I think,
Yeah, I
I
was gonna
think
say,
he
I
might have
got
got
it.
that.
Yeah, mate, be right there, Gov.
How does he know where I am? Or did that come?
So you like probably look up from your phone and actually say that, and then there's that same van from the other day. It's a different van, like it's a different license plate, but it looks exactly the same, blacked out windows, the whole 9 yards. Pulls up, and sure enough, what was his name? I forget his name.
Aiden Boyle.
Aiden Boyle. Aiden Boyle pops out and goes, "Hey mate, how you doing?"
Good.
And you're like at ground level now. You probably come down off the roof. And he says, "So, yeah, you're looking for some gas, Yeah?
I am in the
Wink,
market
wink,
for
nudge,
that.
no? Yeah? Your wife got a bit of a gas problem, eh? Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Say no more. Eh?" And he, like, jabs you with his shoulder. Or his elbow, rather.
Sort of awkwardly bounce off the jab.
He goes, "All right, mate. Well, if you're looking for, a little bit of the old, I think I can set you up. Why you want that kind, though? It's not, particularly, it's not particularly good for you. I've got some better stuff. I've got some nitrous. If you're looking for that, it's even legal. You can get it at like a party stall.
You telling me carbon monoxide isn't legal?
Well, not. It's not. Like it's not illegal. It's just a bit controlled, right? But like, you could get some fucking nitrous for like easy. It's like this stuff. It's they use it at dentists. Yeah, it gets you real fucking high too.
I
Yeah.
think I'm good with what I want.
Right, like, because the fucking dentists, they use it to like knock people out, like, and then you like pass out, but first you feel really fucking high, right? It's great. You should try it sometime. Anyway, you want carbon? I can get you carbon. It's going to be maybe a little while to figure out. I got to call up a couple of sources. How much do you need?
I don't actually know. Let me know how much you can get me and at what price, and I'll have figured out how much
Oh,
I need
mate,
by
I can
then.
get whatever you need. Price will be, well, I'll have to call my contacts, eh? All right, I'll let you know, mate. I'll text you. All right? Yeah?
That
And
sounds
he's like
wonderful.
he's holding up his fingers, sort of like pointing at you, and he's got like, you know how like people point at you, they got one arm really far extended, and like one arm is hooked back, kind of over their chest, and they're pointing in the same direction, making like a J with their arms. He's doing that thing, um, and he like does the finger guns as he walks away, and so all right, and he gets back in the car, and they peel out, drive off.
Is Judith back? I need to talk to her.
Are you here, Tim?
You done making boom boom?
Jesus. I guess not. Um, let's postulate that Judith tells you how much you need, and she thinks you need. Let me look at Wikipedia. This is gonna get me on another fucking watch list. Um, I'm gonna say it's probably. Hang on. I need to look at Wikipedia for a minute. I can't believe that Wikipedia doesn't tell me how much is toxic. Oh god. Toxicity, there it is. Yeah, it's you're gonna need like probably for just the coffee shop you're gonna need like 10 canisters of the usual size. So it'll be like enough to raise the level of carbon monoxide to a degree that would make someone pass out and potentially die.
What's the usual size?
Um, one international unit. That is the actual unit is called 1 IU of gas.
How big are these canisters?
They are probably a meter tall, by 10 centimeters in diameter, and they're like this sort of classic tube shape thing with the rounded edges. They come on like a little pallet thing that you drag them around, so they're not small.
Okay. So need about 10 of those. So probably not going to be able to get those on the roof. So probably going to need to have them in the alley. Which means we'll probably need a pipe of some sort to pipe it to the roof. Okay.
What are you thinking, man? I can hear the gears turning.
Waiting for Judith.
Well, so what would you ask Judith if she were here?
I just want to know how flammable carbon monoxide is.
That is a tech post-tech roll. Go ahead and make that. You would know this if you make a good post-tech roll. If not, I'll make one for Miss Boom Boom over there. Yeah, it is actually quite flammable compared to its buddy carbon dioxide. So basically, carbon monoxide is not a stable system. It has a so chemistry 101. Oxygen has 4 free electrons. Carbon wants 4 free electrons, or 3 or something like that. So carbon dioxide has 2 double bonds, one to one of the carbons, one to the other carbon. Carbon monoxide has 1 quadruple bond, which is an incredibly unstable bond. It takes a lot of energy to create. It takes a lot of energy to break, but when you break it, the new bonds create a ton of energy. So it's very, very easy to break it up. So at the right temperatures, it's actually one of the more flammable things in like general use, something that people would come into on a regular basis. Where is it? There's a flammability section in Wikipedia that I'm going to read because it's literally what you know. Explosive limits are anywhere from 12.5% to 74.2%. Its auto ignition temperature is very high. So basically, if it's in a concentration anywhere from 12% in an atmosphere to 74% in an atmosphere, it is possible that it will explode. It ignites at 609 degrees Celsius, or like 1,000 degrees Fahrenheit. So if you had like a butane torch or something, that would light it off. But so it has a very high ignition temperature, at which point it will actually ignite. But its flash point is very low, so it's very easy to actually set it on fire if you can get it to the instantaneous flash point.
I came back at the right time.
I know. It is highly flammable and highly toxic. That is its classification.
So when and if we do acquire all these 10 canisters, would they fit all in a car?
Well, so you have 10 canisters, meter long, and 10 centimeters diameter. So that's 50 centimeters by 20 centimeters and 1 meter long. So it's about 3 feet by around a foot by around 2.5 feet.
That could fit in the boot.
Yeah.
So we put all the things in the boot. We pull around,
This is America. We call it a trunk, sir.
whatever. We could hoist a hose up to the roof, hook it up, be on our way. In gassing, that is. So we just need a hose.
Oh, hold up. Don't get your knickers in a twist. Do we have everything we actually need? Do we have the rope and such of that? Or is that being provided by our buyer? Or where we're buying it?
I have rope, but I don't have tube. But we could probably acquire tube somewhere. I doubt it's that uncommon.
Yeah, you probably get tube at like a hardware store.
Alright. Do we need another rental car? Or have we located the one before?
You have a rental car.
Another rental car?
You have a rental car that is under Price's name because they wouldn't give it to Tacitus again. It's like it's not a huge car, but it'll probably fit the canisters that you have.
I'm ready to go. I'll just wait around for Aiden to call back.
Yeah, so probably as you're having this discussion of your whole plan, you're off in like the alley or something out of the way. Aiden texts you back and he says the following. He sent you 2 texts. Those are the contents.
10K is a pretty princely sum.
Gotta spend money to make money.
We're not going to make any money on this.
I'm not convinced by this seller anymore. He clearly can't speak English.
Okay, I didn't quite get what he said there, but he does have what we want and also some knocks, which we might not want, or maybe we do.
Why did you ask for the price for Knox then if we didn't want it?
I just wanted to see how it compared. Maybe it's far cheaper.
So, Knox is the carbon monoxide, I would imagine.
No.
Nitrous.
Nitrous oxide.
Oh, okay. So, which one were we shooting for initially as our main go-to?
Carbon monoxide.
Okay. And
He's talking. He suggested that you get nitrous oxide, which he said is what dentists use to make you laugh a lot, feel really high, and pass out.
I say we go meet him, see what his price for that is.
and maybe actually understand what he's saying.
That would also be nice.
As a forenote for future endeavors with these kind of individuals, I propose that we do not meet with such individuals unless forced to, unless they can write proper English sentences.
Noted, Judith. Let's go. Hop in our car and start driving there.
Okay.
And hopefully
Yeah,
the other
so
people join me.
you get to the where he told you to get to. You figure it probably he meant Smith Street instead of Smith. And you get there reasonably quickly. The same van is there. Aiden's sort of leaning on it, smoking a cigarette. He goes, "Hey, mate, fuck, took you so goddamn long."
I'm a busy guy.
And he just like looks at you and shakes his head. He's like, "No, you're not." And he goes, "All right, I got your fucking carbon, right?" And he's like, "Jimmy," and he's some big burly guy. I forget actually. I think I called him Jimmy last week. I don't remember. He gets out of the other side of the car and is, shows you, like, pulls back the side door and shows you there's these 10 canisters of there's actually probably a few more than 10 canisters that are all marked with the familiar carbon monoxide markings. He goes, "Was that easy get, mate? It's fucking expensive shit you wanted. I don't make a lot of it. I had to nick this off of a lab." He goes, "I think it's okay though. I've got some knocks in the back too, eh?"
And how much are you charging for the Knox?
Well, I got, let's see, 1, 2, 4, 10. Got not a fucking maybe 15 canisters, 15 IU. Probably I'd say 8 for the lot.
Let me confer with my associates.
All right, mate. Whatever. If you got to talk, you should use the word talk, eh?
I huddle
Just
up.
talk. Just talk like a normal person. Jimmy, what we think is just using big words like confer.
I huddle up with the group.
He just keeps muttering to himself about you using big words.
8 doesn't sound that great of a deal. But neither does 10.
Yeah,
I don't see another option.
On top of that, the comment of looks to be all right for the carbon monoxide doesn't inspire a great deal of confidence in me.
Are you proposing we just jet?
Do we have any other potential options of getting such a gas like this?
Not that I know of.
If we're gonna get just nitrous oxide, we could probably go to a party supply shop and get it there. Don't put it on a credit card though, because we don't want to trace back that we rented out nitrous.
I do like the untraceability of Mr. Aiden Boyle.
And he perks up when he hears his name. He goes, "You ain't gonna get a better deal anywhere, mate. Legal or illegal."
If we decide to go with this, I suggest we inspect whatever canisters of what we are looking to purchase first before we give them any money to make sure it's all sound.
How was your spectrometer crap that you bought from? That was good stuff, right?
Pretty baller, if I'm honest. It was good stuff.
I say just buy it. Let's get out of here.
I like the idea of at least giving it a cursory glance.
Yeah. And then depending on which one, if they're both about equal, do we have a preference of which gas we should choose?
So to put the deal in words you understand, he's offering you 10 canisters of carbon monoxide for 10,000. It's 1,000 per canister. And it's 15 canisters of NOx, same size, at 8,000 for the whole thing. So it's a little around 500 a canister, give or take.
Right. And with that now in mind, is there a preference of which gas we would want to go with if they both appear to be about the same? Do we want to go with the CO or the NOx?
Can I roll to see how flammable nitrous oxide is?
Sure.
Is that tech medical?
That's going to be tech post tech because you're asking like a chemistry question, not a medical question.
All right.
Yeah, you definitely know. So you know that the chemistry of nitrous oxide, it has two primary isomers. So there's the nitrous oxide with a triple bond. There's nitrous oxide with two double bonds. The two double bonds are more stable, but the punchline of explosionness is I gotta look it up in Wikipedia. Hold on. It is a very stable substance. It actually doesn't have its flash point is so high and its auto ignition point is so high that it's not even recorded. It's like far beyond what most people could produce, even with purpose-built equipment. They do put it, in fact, in. It's the same thing they inject into like car engines to make them go faster, because what it does is actually push out other constituent parts and just leave the oxygen. And it will react in that situation in a high pressure environment like that, but it doesn't actually react by exploding. It reacts with the pressure to actually break apart that way. So it doesn't explode. It's very stable. Yeah.
I would vote we go with the less likely thing to explode option.
Price?
What fun is that?
We're trying to plant cameras to watch it. It's kind of hard when the building is exploded.
That's a good point.
All right. I think it's decided we'll take the Nox then. Are we all in agreement?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. I walk back over to Aiden.
He goes, all right, mate, you're not going to make a purchase now? You could keep talking with your friends.
Nah, we're ready.
Well, mate.
But we'll take the Nox.
Oh, you're going to love it, mate. It's super funny. You're going to take a hit. Ah, it's so good. How many you want, eh? 15, yeah?
We'll take the full set, but we
All right.
want to look at it before the purchase.
All right, you want a little sample, eh? Yeah? All right, come here. And he pulls you by, like, he pulls you by the shoulder and he takes you over and he's got a little mask hooked up to one of the canisters. And he goes, now, this is the same stock, but I'm keeping this one. It's the 16th canister, yeah? And you can have a little taste of that if you want, or you could put it on one of the ones you're going to buy, whatever you want to do. You know me. I get your stuff, you buy the stuff, and that's how it goes. And he hands you the gas mask after taking a hit. And he looks a little bit, like, weary and, like, his eyes kind of, like, roll up in his head a little bit.
I'll take a hit.
Yeah, so how deep of a hit? Are you taking like a deep breath or just like a kind of thing?
Sort of a high school chemistry waft.
Okay, so you actually just like hold out the thing and like waft it at you.
Yes.
You experience no effect. It doesn't smell like anything. Maybe like vaguely a little bit sweet, but you're not sure if that's even real or not. And yeah, you don't really have any particular.
I'll take a bit of a deeper hit.
Yeah, you take it a sort of like put the mask up over you. You kind of Aiden's kind of encouraging you a little bit. He's like making the motion of like put it up against your mouth and nose. You take a little bit of a breath and you feel immediately a little bit lightheaded. Just sort of like you're floating a little bit. You have like this inkling of like something is funny, but you don't really laugh. And yeah, you feel kind of like, okay, yeah, I'm feeling a little good right now. Kind of a mild, general goodness feeling.
I stopped taking hits.
Yeah, a few minutes later, like you're still feeling kind of like lightheaded and woozy a little bit, but you're not hurt or anything. You're just kind of like, whoa. Everything's a little bit brighter for some reason.
Yeah, this seems good, guys.
You're right there, Tacitus?
I'm okay.
All right. Let's pay the man and grab our stuff and go.
Okay, this is good, Aiden. Let's hook you up with some funds.
All right, you and me take care of that. Jimmy, you folks, load him up, bye. And he pulls you over to like the corner. He has like an iPad with him, and it's got one of those little bar things at the top for like you can recognize to me. It's like for a cred stick to swipe through. He goes, and cash your credit, mate.
Judith, do we have the ship accounts available?
We should. We should have plenty to cover it.
Because I don't have enough to cover that.
You want to take it from the ship accounts, Captain?
I do.
All right. It was 8.
That's 8 grand.
8 grand, so 8,000.
Yep.
Okay. I have subtracted it from the ship's accounts.
All right, you are now in the possession of 15 international units of nitrous oxygen.
Sounds pretty good. Thank you for your business, Aiden.
Thank you, sir.
And he looks at you and goes, "Is that no problem?" And he like checks his account. He's like, "All right, mate." I'm sorry, I was looking up more properties of nitrous oxygen because I read the whole article on carbon monoxide, and then you guys decided to buy the NOx. So yeah, he's all right, mate, and he gets back in the car and drives off. He's like, "You know who to call if you need anything."
I wave goodbye.
And he drives away.
All right. Let's get this in the car and get ready for our nighttime op.
KK.
Yep. So you load it all up and I guess head back to the ship, or
Yeah, I think we go back to the ship. We gotta get some other stuff.
So it's going down tonight?
I don't see why not.
Okay. I missed some things when making Boom Boom. Sorry.
okay. Yeah. So I'm sorry, I'm still reading nitrous oxide here. I need to find out a specific detail. Where is this thing? Here we go. Okay. Yeah, so let's see. So on the way there, I'm just going to say that you get the piping. It doesn't really cost you anything meaningful, so you just have it. Probably pull it from the ship, like you have it handy.
I want to note it before anything happens that we have the satchel charges with us too, just in case.
We do have satchel charges
you are bringing,
and C4.
actually, yeah, so what are you bringing with you? And who's bringing what?
Here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking Price and Judith make the entry, and I do the stuff on the roof.
That makes sense.
Okay.
You are a bit high.
Well, you're probably sober by now. You took half a hit of nitrous. You're like, okay. This is like when you have the whipped cream can, and you finished it. And you take a pull off the whipped cream. You know, after you finish using it, the can's empty or whatever.
I'm still not entirely sure. Our captain's now a bit of a druggie.
Yeah, so you got the layout. What are you bringing with you besides the NOx and the piping and stuff?
Should definitely bring guns.
Good point.
Probably a good idea if we can conceal them pretty easy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna bring my silenced SMG.
Okay.
Same.
What are you bringing, Judy?
I'm trying to remember what I have available to me. SMG with a silencer?
Yep.
Okay,
so
silence.
Yep. So, Alistair, I don't see an SMG on you.
I have an SMG. It's just not silence.
Okay, it's not silence. I see. And then, are you bringing any other items with you? Um,
Yeah, I've got a couple items in my gear section. I'm definitely bringing my grapnel launcher and the rope.
okay. Yeah, you could probably carry. Yeah, you can carry all that. You have a backpack. Yeah, you got it all in there.
Anyone else bringing stuff?
I mean, I just have body armor. That's all I really have available to me.
Okay.
Maybe a vac suit?
Well, I'll borrow one from the ship.
You have vac suits on you, Testis. I don't know what's on the ship. You cannot carry. Well, you could probably carry 2 vac suits, but not 3. They're pretty hefty things. There's big. There's these big helmet parts to them.
Well, you're
Okay.
not going inside, are you, Tacitus?
No, but I'll bring one as backup. Let me move some stuff out of my gearbox then.
I mean, there's not a surplus store where I can just go buy one of these open right now, is there?
No, so vac suits are you'd have to go to a specialty store to get a working vac suit. Like a surplus store might give you a broken one or one that won't work. But if you want to get like a new one, that costs some money. It's in the book somewhere.
Would a
it's like
respirator
1,000.
mask from like a hardware store work? Because you can get those for like painting and shit.
A respirator would, because it doesn't actually remove gases from the air, just particulates. Like a rebreather would work.
You can just borrow one of my vac suits,
Okay.
but
I
want
think
it
you have a
back.
couple on the ship too. So
Do
I
we have
vaguely-
any on the ship?
I vaguely recall you having some on the ship. I assume it'd be in the ship sheet.
Check the ship sheet.
What about the ship sheet?
I know we used when we were hunting aliens.
Yeah,
Like all of us had one, so I'm assuming they would be left in the ship.
yeah.
I mean, I don't have it recorded on the ship. What I have recorded being on the ship is 6 charges of C4, 3 Semtex charges, and 12 power cells.
Yeah, so I think that you probably have maybe 1 vac suit on the ship. So you can add that to the ship's inventory, and you have 1. And Tassus, I believe, has 3, and then neither of you have any other ones.
Okay, I'll lend mine out to whoever doesn't take the ship one.
Okay, I don't think it really matters whoever takes the ship one.
Yeah, so you guys all have
We
one.
have the vac suits.
Okay.
Yeah, you have enough. You have enough between you. Yeah. So, and you're bringing everything. Everything that you're bringing should say have the readied thing checked next to it, and that will cover it.
How many satchel charges do we have?
I believe we had 3 Semtex charges and 6 C4 charges.
I will take the 3 Semtex charges.
Okay. Add that to your gear list. Yeah. Okay, you did. I mean, you can put an X3 on that. There you go. Okay. All right. So you're all loaded up. You're ready to go. You're bringing all your stuff. If you want to bring anything else, speak now or forever hold your peace.
Now I'm good.
All right.
Just my Lazarus patches.
Oh, okay. Good. You don't have any Lazarus patches on you. Put that in your gear section.
I have it on my other equipment.
Yeah, put it in your gear section, and then click ready next to it. So generally speaking, other equipment is for like non-item stuff. Anything consumable or whatever should be in the gear section. But like if I gave you a quest item, for lack of a better term, that would probably
Like
go under
professional hollow blueprint software.
Yes, exactly. That goes under other equipment. Or the card that I gave Tacitus with the weird writing on it, the circle.
Fair enough.
That sort of thing. So, and then if you don't have it on you, click unreadied. And if you have a lot of stuff on you, like basically right now Tacitus is at the limit. He's got pretty much everything that he can carry on him. Anything more than that he would start to suffer some effects. DCs would get higher for the most part. Okay, so you guys head out there. It's later in the evening. You know that from the everybody's gone by about 10 o'clock, and it's just the one guy who's there every night. Um, and yeah, so there's the building across the street. There's the coffee shop. The street's pretty wide. It's maybe like 3 lanes. It's one way, so it's 3 lanes in one direction. The building adjacent to the coffee shop that sort of like overlaps it a little bit, and it's like this apartment building. And on top of that is where the air exchanger is. Most of the lights are out at this point in that building. There's a few scattered windows that have light in it. A lot of them are dim, or there's a couple that are like fully on. Some of them are sort of like a weird bluish blinking color, which you recognize as being like televisions flashing. There's very little traffic on the streets. In fact, there's no one's gone down the street in probably 10 minutes. And yeah, you guys are all set. What are you gonna do?
All right, team. Let's have a good game out there tonight.
Go Panthers.
No. I get out of the car.
All right, so you're out of the car. What are you doing? How are you doing your plan here?
Is there a way to get to the roof? Like a ladder or something? Like a fire escape?
There's the fire escape on the building across the street. And there's an alleyway that leads to behind the coffee shop. So this is like a block, and in the center of the block is like a common courtyard area. That's how all these blocks are designed. And there's an alley that leads into that common courtyard area. But there doesn't appear to be, on a quick pass, like as stealthy as you can be, to avoid detection by the guy inside the building. There doesn't appear to be anything to get onto the roof immediately. You can see that there's like a door, so it looks like it's probably internal access.
Does anyone remember how loud the grapnel launcher was last time I used it?
You would know how loud it is. It's loud, but it's not like amazingly loud. It's a spring-powered thing, so it makes a loud clang when it fires. But if you're more than 100 feet away, you're probably not going to hear it.
All right, I'm going to employ the grapnel launcher to attempt to get on the roof with the air thing.
Please don't shoot the floor this time.
All right. Grapnel launcher. It fires up to 40 meters. Yeah, you'll be able to do that. Heavyweights on a precarious. Full
If we had a psychic who could lift people, and I look at Price.
That'd be handy, huh?
Yeah, if only you had a teleporter or a telekine or literally any psychic that isn't a biopsionic. I mean, having a biopsionic is super fucking handy, don't get me wrong. But basically psychics... So, Kevin Crawford, the guy who wrote this game, loves fucking psychics. Like, just loves the crap out of them. Every single one of these psychic disciplines is awesome. Even, like, the weird ones like meta-psionics or precog, so fucking cool. The only kind of bad one is telepathy, and at higher levels, you can basically turn people into your zombie slaves. So it's just bad at early levels. Anyway, let's see. So, yeah, you fire the grapnel launcher. Can you make 2 checks? A stealth check against your... Let's go with wisdom to determine how good of the spot you decided to pick. Such that no one would come to look for you there. And you did fine. And let's make a second check to see if you actually got it up on the thing. So make an attack roll with combat projectile weapons and your dexterity. Or strength, whichever you prefer.
What is the AC of the target I'm attacking?
Well, it's... Let me think about this. I'm going to say... It's probably like a 9. It's not hard. You're shooting it onto a roof. It's just a matter of whether or not you you catch on something. So you got a pretty good shot. It's only 2 stories, so which is well under the 40 meters. You might actually shoot it over the building, and wow. Yeah, so you shoot it over the building, and you hear it plonk on the other side, and then the rope just kind of like flitters out for a little bit, and then slips off the edge of the roof and plops on the ground.
Can I perceive if anyone noticed that?
Yeah,
Am I noticing anything like people looking out windows?
Make a perception
or anything
test.
like that? What is that against?
Wisdom. You're sort of like listening and trying to figure out. Yeah, you don't like. There may be someone like turned on a light, and you like saw a light turn on, but nobody's like come out to look.
Okay, I'm gonna make a second shot with it then.
All right, so you reel it in, so that you don't, because you have to like reset it basically, and it takes you a couple minutes to get it all squared up, and then you're prepared to make a second shot.
Okay, I will make my second shot.
There you go. Okay, yeah. So it fires up in the air and plonks down on the roof with a little bit of a clang. Again, a couple little lights turn on just quick and then turn right back off. People just assume it's punk kids throwing cans or something. Yeah, but now you have it. It's, you give it a tug, pull it on the roof, and it doesn't seem to be moving.
I begin to climb.
All right, can you make an athletics check against your dexterity or strength? Okay. So, yeah, you climb up the side of this building. It's only 2 stories, so it's pretty quick. The 40 meters of rope or whatever is coiled at the ground behind you. You get up there, it takes you a couple seconds and maybe a minute, and you're on the roof. You see across from you sort of a long expanse of roof. It's, the stretching the whole block. You see a couple air exchangers down the roof. There are 3 of them. So there's one on the far end, one in the middle, and one close to you over the coffee shop. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna go to the one closest to the coffee shop.
Okay. Yeah, so you walk over and there's an air exchanger, and it takes you a second, but you recognize quickly the side that's intake and the side that's exfil.
All right, I'm gonna radio down to tell the guys to bring the car in an inconspicuous location so we can get that pipe up here.
Yeah, so the we see you pick up your phone, and you're probably texting to make sure that they no one can hear you, and you zoom in deep on the phone, and then it blips, and we see the response typed in okay, and it pulls back out, and we see Judith and Price in the car. They have about half of their vac suits on. I'm assuming you want your vac suits on already. If you don't have to have them on.
Yes.
Yes.
Do either of you have the vac suit skill?
I do not.
I have exosuit at 0.
Exosuit's the one. Yeah. So you have exosuit at 0, and you said you don't, Price?
Yeah, I do not.
Okay. Yeah, so you're pretty uncomfortable in the suit. I would imagine it's Judith driving, because she's got training, basically. She knows how these things work.
I then go and look for an inconspicuous location to park the car.
Mm-hmm. So can you make a stealth check against your intelligence? Yeah, so you find a spot on sort of like in a blind spot of the building. There's like a wall that you kind of park right behind. You're driving with your lights off, and you haven't actually turned the lights on at all. In fact, you were wearing sunglasses for a while, and I don't think any of the other guys really recognized why. And you took them off as you started driving, and so your night vision is very well attuned. Your eyes are sort of artificially dilated, um,
I feel
and you're
like
able
I'm
to
doing like that deal with it gif.
a little bit. But yeah, so you take the glasses off and you can drive without your lights on without too much danger. You sort of start to get blinded by the little apartment lights a little bit, but you're more or less okay. You park the car and gesture to Price to get out, and you two both get out of the car. You probably text back to Tacitus that you're parked, and you give him like a reference as to where you are on the building. What do you guys do?
I begin to take out the canisters and slowly make my way to be able to pass it up to Tacitus.
Text Tacitus to drop his rope down from his grav launcher so we can just tie the canisters to that and he can pull them up.
Good thinking.
Good thinking, Price. I do as he says.
Okay. Yeah, so I imagine like you guys probably brought like a mountable pulley kind of thing, because it's like Ocean's 11 shit. So you have like this separate apparatus that attaches to the side of the building, and you like screw it in with like a drill that's very quiet, and then you're pulling this thing up on this rope, and you guys start moving these canisters up. Now, how many canisters are you looking to move?
No, I think we were going to leave the canisters in the car. We just want to bring the pipe up.
Well, so they said they were gonna move the canisters up. So
Well, how long is the pipe? Like, I thought we were going to put the canisters on the roof and pipe it into the system. Is that not what we're doing?
I thought we had a long enough pipe to go from car to roof.
so 2 stories is what, like 20 feet ish? Yeah, you figure 10 feet a story with all the additional like subfloor stuff. So it's about 20 feet in the air. I'm gonna say the thing is probably about 20 feet back. So you need 40 feet of pipe, like loose PEX piping, which you probably have, just in the ship, like for general repairs and stuff.
But can we fit that much in the car?
Yeah, it's only like maybe 3/4 inch diameter pipe. So you just have a coil of it that's really long. It's not the quietest stuff in the world, but it's not loud either. Like it'll rattle against itself when it's in a coil, but if you're careful, you can keep it quiet.
Is like is it easily noticeable if there's just this random pipe at night coming from a car up to a roof?
I mean, most PEX that I've seen is like white with a blue stripe, so someone might notice it, but like you're kind of out of the way. You're not on a busy street. There's a potential that it'd be noticed, but there's like, yeah, I mean, there's a DC for that roll if that's what you're asking.
I guess we probably should do a DC of that. What would I be rolling against?
So what do you want to know? Do you want to know if you're going to get spotted, or do you want to know if you are spotted?
I want to basically know the likelihood of if we use this pipe from the car up to
Okay.
the roof, how likely we are to get spotted.
Okay, that would be a security check against your intelligence. Yeah, so it's certainly true that if someone was looking for something out of the ordinary and they saw a pipe going from a car to the roof of a building that contains residents and it's the middle of the night and there were 2 people in hazmat gear, they're probably going to think it's weird. However, this area is not very well populated. Most people are asleep. There's not a lot of traffic on the roads. There's not a huge probability that you're going to be spotted just because there isn't a lot of people to do the spotting. However, if someone was looking or like driving down the road, they would see something very out of the ordinary and probably think it's worthy of maybe investigating or calling the police. But it is a big city, so at the same time, maybe they just don't give a shit. So you probably, like, your estimate is that the probability of you being caught is pretty low from the PEX. There are other things from which you might get caught that are more likely, i.e., some unlucky Russian guy coming out and seeing you.
I think it's worth the risk. Partly because then we can just leave very quickly. we won't have to move all the canisters back down.
All right.
All right,
well, let's
so
haul the hose up then.
yeah, so you probably just, instead of having that cool thing, you just drop the rope over, they tie it on, you snake it back up and shove it in the air exchange in the intake area. You probably also have like duct tape, and you tape over the rest of the intake so that there's no more oxygen going into the building. On the other end, you guys have to connect it to the hose. I'm just gonna hand wave over that. Let's see. So yeah, I mean, I think it just works. Like, I need someone to make a luck check to see if someone drives by.
Who has the
Ooh.
lowest luck save score?
I have a 14.
14. Price?
14.
Price,
Yeah, so someone-
I believe in you.
This is such a bad idea. I always roll a fucking 3.
There's gonna be 2 saves total. So, yeah, nobody drives by at all. I need someone else to make a tech save.
What kind of
just-
tech? Oh, wait, it's a tech save. Never
It's a
mind.
tech save, so it's just a D20 against your tech.
Another
save
check.
value.
Since Price can't do it? Because you
Price
said so.
cannot do it because he did luck.
What is your score there, Tacitus?
11.
I also have an 11.
I think I should roll because I've mostly done all the tech thus far.
Go for it.
All right, so as you're unloading this, you're pushing all this thing out, and one of the canisters like sputters a little bit, and nothing comes out. It's like you open it and it goes, and then there's no sound, and you're not sure. It doesn't seem like it's empty. Like when you knock on it, you hear like there's a high pitch, which means there's something inside. But it seems like maybe the nozzle is broken, or somehow otherwise blocked. You move on to the next one though, so that you just have a little bit less gas in the room. And then can one of you? Oh, so I guess Tim, or I'm sorry, Judith, you need to make the final save, which is. Let's see, what are you gonna make? I'm gonna have you make a. Let's have you make another luck save.
All right.
Yeah. So when it does that sputtering, you recognize immediately that you don't forget essentially to turn it back off. So you immediately go, okay, well I'm going to turn this one off. This one's just got a bad nozzle or something. You've probably seen it before. You know exactly what to do, and so you just catch it and fix it. A few minutes later, maybe a total of 5 minutes have passed. You've emptied out all the canisters you can empty out. There probably 2 of them failed. So you have 13 canisters worth of nitrous oxide pumped into this building. There is, yeah, I mean, you just did that. So what do you want to guys? What do you want to do now?
I say,
Time to break in.
Yep. Let's get our masks on and go in. By the time we do that, hopefully the guard should be passed out.
Okay. So Tacitus, while they're suiting up, I assume they'll probably send you a text, so you know that they're suiting up. What are you doing?
I am watching the situation, making sure everything's still working on the roof, and seeing if I can notice anyone taking a notice of us.
Okay. Yeah, so Price and Judith enter the building. The display on your vac suit immediately reads danger, high levels of nitrous oxide in the atmosphere. It's not safe to breathe, that sort of thing. You see like readouts of the atmospheric composition. It immediately drops a little bit as you walk in and open the door. But as soon as you shut the door, it goes right back to like high levels of concentration. It shows you a display of how long you have. You have 2 hours of oxygen in these suits. You probably, I think you actually have more, but we're going to say you have 2 hours for now. Maybe you didn't charge them the whole way or something.
Is the vac suit able to detect if the levels it's seeing is lethal levels?
You can interpret that with a tech medical roll, but it doesn't say outright whether it's lethal. It just says danger.
I want to do that.
Okay. Tech medical intelligence. Yeah, you don't know. However, Price, you do know. Well, so the way this usually works is one of you gets to make the real roll, the other person gets to assist. I'm gonna let it go, but in the future, one of you has to be like, "I'm making the roll," and the other person can help. So, you, Price, you know that this is pretty much so far beyond a lethal level that anybody exposed to it for even a few moments would be choking on their breath and immediately feeling the effects of being suffocated. You pumped in way too much nitrous oxygen. um,
Well,
but
pro tip, guys. I give us a gold star for the effort, but we probably killed the Russian guy. We need to hurry up and get the fuck out of here.
We should probably also go and maybe make an excuse, such as like breaking a piece on the refrigerator to make gas leak. Make it reasonable that he died from something.
okay. Yeah, so which one of you brought the cameras?
Motherfucker.
Well, I mean, I didn't put them in my inventory, but I assumed that we would have had them and grabbed them.
I asked you all, what are you bringing? And to put it in the thing. None of you have it in your other equipment. None of you have it in your gear. Which one of you brought the cameras?
Oh, God.
Well, it wouldn't be me.
I thought that was
Alright.
going to be a given. God damn
Nope.
it.
All right,
Damn it.
so which one of you is going to make the luck check to see if you happen to have the cameras on your person?
Of the two of us, probably should be me because I'm an expert and I can re-roll it if I remember.
You can't re-roll saves.
Fuck. I'll go for it.
All right, you have 6 cameras on you. You need exactly 6 to cover the place, as I recall.
Oh, God. Okay. Here, Price,
Get
have
these
3
things
cameras.
planted.
Yeah.
I take them and immediately go back to the office and start planting them.
All right. Okay. So, Judith, I take it then you're probably starting in the front of the building.
Yes.
Okay. So here's what we're gonna do. When you place a camera, you need to make a security check. If you succeed on that security check, I will let you know. And if you don't succeed, I will probably lie to you and say that you succeeded. And then when you get back to Peanuts, we'll see how well you did. The better you do, the happier Peanuts will be. Okay.
What are we
So
making these against?
you're making these against your dexterity or intelligence.
Intelligence
Whichever you prefer. Okay, so you need to plant 2 in each section. So for each section, you need to plant 1, and then you're both going to have to plant 1 in the kitchen. So these are
So roll
for
2 security checks.
Yep, you can each roll 3 total, and I'll let you know. Okay.
Fucking awesome. Peanuts is gonna be pissed.
Now, if you wanna re-roll one of those, Judith, you can do that.
I imagine I keep the result of wherever it is, though.
Yes. If you re-roll it, you keep the result.
About 50% chance of getting it better.
6.
I'll re-roll the 6.
Okay.
Oh, that is totally the wrong button.
Definitely the wrong button.
Slightly
Okay.
better. 2 sevens and an
One
8.
moment.
In the meantime, I'm going to send a text. What is the status of the guy inside.
He looks a little
Um,
pale.
Hang on one second. I got to do some math, and then I will narrate that for you. So, price. Oh man. Oh god. You should maybe bring Peanut some presents.
Or at least buy a sandwich at his family sandwich shop.
You cut out. I didn't hear what you said.
You might want to bring Peanut some presents. Um. Okay. So, Price, when you get back into the office, there's a white-haired guy who's sitting in his chair. He's drooling and was clearly like convulsing for at some point because he's kind of in a weird position. His eyes are staring blankly ahead of him. They're glazed over, and he's not breathing at all. He's just staring at the door, and so when you open the door, he's looking at you, and it's probably not a particularly pleasant experience. However, you're able to plant the cameras in there without issue. You see on the desk there's some Russian paperwork. There's a safe in the corner of the room, a couple of paintings that look very bleak and gray. It's the room is sort of occupied primarily by a file cabinet in the back wall and this large desk, which has got several drawers on it. The guy is sitting at it. He's in like a big kind of like not oversized, not like a really luxurious, but just like a leather chair, just kind of a nice-ish leather chair. There's the faint, well, you wouldn't smell it, but if you could, it'd be the faint smell of like cigarette smoke and general ennui. The kitchen is devoid of people. There's some like running red lights to help people navigate if they're in there in the dark, but otherwise it's empty. You're able to plant the cameras there with reasonable effectiveness, but it's hard because there's a lot of open space, so it's hard to hide them. And the front of the building is just totally impossible to hide stuff. So you end up just kind of planting them behind plants and whatever other things you can find that would obscure them at least for a little while. And it's unfortunate you don't have more cameras because you'd have more chances to do better rolls, but someone forgot to bring them, so shucks darn.
I'm gonna text Price and Judith. Take valuables if you see them.
Yeah, so the whole thing is it takes you about 10 minutes to plant all the cameras. There's obviously in the front there's a cash register and some, like espresso machines and other accoutrement that goes in a coffee shop. The kitchen has, mostly like it's not really like a professional kitchen. They make sandwiches and shit back there. They don't really make like gourmet food or anything, haute cuisine as they say.
How big was the safe in the office?
It's like a small floor safe. It's maybe 2.5 by 2.5 by 2.5 or something. It's not huge.
2.5 feet?
Yeah.
That's gonna be too heavy to move.
What do you guys want to do? You've planted all the cameras now.
Do you guys
First, I
see
said, let's just
any?
get the fuck out of here.
Do you guys see any security cameras in there?
I want to do a perception check to find any potential cameras.
Yep, perception, wisdom. Yeah, you look around. You do see one camera in the front of the building, and it's got a blinking red light on it and everything. But you look at it, and it doesn't have any wires going out of the back of it. And you look at the side, it looks like it's just a dummy camera. It's just there to scare people.
Yeah, no, one dummy camera, by the way. It looks like we're good. Before we go, let's try and pull a cord or wire or something to have gas leak to explain the body.
Well, if we remove the duct tape, by the morning, all the nitrous should vent out of the building.
That works. Crack a window?
Yes.
I crack a window.
Okay. Yeah, you go and find a window in the back or something. You crack a door, maybe. I don't know. You find somewhere that you can open to let some ventilation through.
Let's get the fuck out of here.
Agreed.
Yeah, so you guys, you head out. Do you head out the front door or the back door?
Whatever door we came in, probably the back door.
You came in the front. Because
Pro
you didn't know
tip, next time, come in the back door.
you didn't know about the back door, so that's why you didn't come in the back door. Giggity. Yeah, so you head out the door and get to the car. You take the helmets off along the way. Tacitus, what are you doing? You coming down or?
I am gonna undo all the connections up here.
Okay.
Try to pick
Yeah, so
everything up.
you pull all the stuff off. There, the grapple launcher is still connected, and you can walk after you pull it all apart and drop the pipe down. They put it back in the car or whatever. You go down the grapple launcher, and there's like it's a smart rope, so it has like a little button at the end, and you click it, and it makes the grapnel release, and then you can pull it down. It makes a little bit of racket when you do that, but again, you see a couple lights come on, but not enough to like for anybody to actually notice you. You maybe get like a couple of like, "Hey, shut up, kids," or whatever, and then you coil up your grapnel cord and put it in the back of the car and hop in. Then you guys drive away and back to the ship. And some dramatic music plays during all of this, I'm sure. And then as you get away, like that triumphant music, and there's like more horns in it for some reason, and lots of like swells and so on, and like the probably goes to commercial on like the theme of the Big Damn Heroes theme song. It's like Big Damn Heroes, da 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 da. And the next scene we see is you're cut back to the ship, and it scrolls down at the bottom of the screen 3 days later. And it's Peanuts is on the main screen, and you guys are all there because he sort of called everybody, said like, get everybody in here. And you see Peanuts, and he goes, "All right, you shitheads, I'm never fucking having you plant cameras again. You have no art." I mean, look, and he shows you some footage, and it's like mostly plant. And like you can see like a person sort of vaguely moving behind. Apparently, Price planted one of the cameras. He thought he was being clever. He planted it behind one of the paintings, and then put the painting back over it. And so it's like all you see is black. He goes, "What the fuck even is this? I don't. What the? Are you stupid? Have you never fucking thought of something before?" And so he's just berating you, and it's just the most vicious. Like this has to be a show that was on Space HBO, because man, is he just reaming you. You did not do a good job planting those cameras. He's like, the only fucking good one here is, fortunately, you shitbeaks, it's the fucking one that, for some reason, I'm gonna put it behind a goddamn painting, Price put in the fucking office. He put it, he put it sort of like around some big fucking metal looking thing. I don't even know, but I can see the fucking guy and I can see who it is, which is what I needed. You shit. No, god damn it. I'll fucking call you. Don't fucking call me. And he clicks off the thing. And I think that you all have perhaps noticed by now that he is displeased. And Clippy pops up on screen and it goes, "It looks like you're pissing off your boss. Doesn't look like you need help with that."
I don't know, guys. I call that a win in my book.
Agreed.
Hey, we got the job done. I would like it noted that both of my goals were completed.
So let's go ahead and look at goals real quick, because I think a few of you had similar goals.
I had at least one.
Okay, so those of you with goals that says something to the effect of complete this mission can take 250 experience.
Wait.
To those of you who had a goal of the form, so I think plant cameras for Peanut. That's complete this mission, Paul. Let's see. Okay, and then I think don't die by Russians is that's your 250 experience for completing the job. That's essentially what it meant. And then set up cameras in the coffee shop, or I guess the don't die by Russians and set up cameras in the coffee shop. So that should have been a 2. So I guess you can get. I'll give you 350 experience because you essentially had the same goal twice in a way. But I will say you definitely completed both of them. So 350 total for both of those. Butch.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Nice and simple. Don't die by Russians.
Because
Hey,
if I
man.
would have died by nitrous oxide, I would have failed.
Yes.
You would also,
You also
be
would
dead.
have been dead. You can't get experience when you're dead. Although, actually, if you completed the mission after that, and you would have got like the 75% holdover XP for that, I would probably give you that. That's how good of a GM I am. I'll give you experience even if you die. Okay. So, did anybody level up due to that?
No, I'm close.
How close?
132 XP.
Oh yeah, you need some work, man. Okay, so if you want to change out your goals, go ahead and do that now. It has been a total of 4 days since our start time, so it is now January the 16th, according to my notes.
I had 15th, but that's close enough.
Yeah. So it was 1 day for the initial thing, and then 3 days after that. So it was like you finished the first day, and then 3 days later, that's when you
Right.
got the apply for peanuts. So
Let's blow this popsicle stand, Judith.
Where are we going?
Yeah, what do you guys want to do?
Off
It's
this
not-
planet.
Maybe we want to look for a job first, so we have a direction.
Okay, fine.
Okay,
Let's go to the ready room.
Let me go ahead and look at. There aren't a ton of jobs available. What you see is a listing of a pretty stale job board that hasn't updated in a long time because your GM has been lazy and coming up with new jobs. What you see is the several main things that you all. So we're gonna just kind of like abstract. You're like having a meeting, and it's like a montage, and we see. Tacitus probably gives like an overview of all the things that he knows about. So he knows about this mission for the mysterious man from the circumference to assassinate one, or I think it's actually steal something. So a mysterious man claiming to be from something called the circumference requires some data to be collected from Rico Munoz on Gonzales Afra. He wants you guys to do it, and yeah, that's the plan. So you know about that. You also know about the MSS Basilisk, which has been spotted once again in HO703, which is relatively far away. But that's a potential thing. There's more and more sightings of it all the time. It's sort of become, it's gone from being like just this thing that's been rumored about, sort of like Bigfoot, to something that most people like believe exists and has like, oh yeah, I've seen that. There's pictures or whatever. And then we after that we see and finally I think we see the like details about the class action lawsuit. And he's got like letters from his lawyer like detailing all the updates on that. And then he sits down and Price gets up and he's talking about the need for pronics and how you have to go all the way to Collude, did I say it was? Like you have to go far.
Way down in fucking HO 507.
Yeah, so you have to go all the way down to HO 507 in order to get the material you need. You also have to smuggle it out. It's illegal material in the north here where you guys are. So finally, I don't know, Judith, did you have any missions that you needed to accomplish, like you wanted your character to accomplish?
Um, Nothing specific right now.
Okay. That's fine. And then I think the last thing you see is some news reports, because it's probably been like this is the morning, and then you're getting like the news coming in on the wire, on the exchange wire, and there's at the top in the local news section there's mysterious deaths due to nitrous oxide, and that's like the headline. Or police say it's due to contamination from nitrous oxide, uh, or something like that, and it's sort of like the blurb. And then you also see it just says President Abrams' address to the nation. So what do you guys want to look at more deeply?
Actually, you guys can discuss that. I gotta AFK for a minute to go use a restroom, refill my drink.
Make some boom boom.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look up how you guys reacted to that because I heard laughter in my headphones.
I laughed pretty hard, man. Okay, so what are you guys interested in learning about?
I want to go find the basilisk.
Yeah, I'm kind of on the same mind. Although we would have to scoop at least 1 unit of fuel.
Well, you're getting to
No.
HO703, right? So
So, yeah, if we were to go from HO602 or HO701, that's 2 units down. We could make 1 unit back and be short 1 fuel.
so you could go. Yeah, you'd have to scoop coming back.
That's what I was trying.
Or you
to
might be
say.
able to get fuel off of the basilisk. I mean, the goal is to do a salvage, so you're not you're gonna like go there, try to get stuff, and then take it back with you, basically. So you're gonna hopefully nobody else is trying to do the same thing. But basically, you're heading there to see what you can get.
All right.
I already have a drink in here. I don't want getting up.
I say we go to Manushi, fill up, go find the basilisk, see what we can scavenge.
I like that plan.
Okay.
In part because you've literally been talking about the basilisk since we started this game.
It's an interesting sounding ship.
It's the Mandate spaceship, man. That's from the old Earth, before the Scream. To put it in perspective, in this universe, the Scream happened in the late 2000s, so that ship is at least 300 years old, if not older.
So it'll be like a history museum.
Well, in this world, older things from before the Scream are actually really, really advanced. So what happened to Scream was an event in which all of the psychics in the universe, for the most part, died all at once. And humanity had become so dependent on psychics for economic purposes. Like, basically, humanity was using psychics for, like, predicting how much of something they would need to build. They were using telekines to, like, move stuff across factory floors. They were using precogs to see accidents before they happen and prevent them. They were using, teleporters for moving things across great distances. They were basically using psychics as their machinery. And then the Scream happened, and the entire economy collapsed. And there was no way to recover because they didn't have the psychics to support it. So they couldn't have the same logistical level of work. Also, psychics were the ones that were being used to build warp gates, which allowed them to travel over vast distances very quickly. So now they have to all go back to using spike drives, which are very primitive in comparison to these warp gates. So basically, the Scream was this big event that set humanity back hundreds of, potentially thousands of years in terms of technology. Because I think in this world they didn't have a dark age. I don't remember. But so, yeah, like finding an MSS anything, even like a MSS fishing boat, would be a big fucking deal because they might have pre-tech, which is what that is. So pre-tech is stuff that comes from before the Scream. Post-tech is post-tech after the Scream. Is that all you guys wanted to look at, or
That's enough for me to go on for now.
okay?
Is there any information about my class action?
You have just a status update from Henry Burke. It says, we're working on the case. We've filed initial motions, and it looks like things are proceeding. But the more people we can get on board, the better. I think you probably also got a couple of emails from the message you posted, which are like, yeah, we've had this problem too. It's good that someone's doing something about it. We're not super interested in going up against the government, but good luck. There's one person in particular named Captain Summers, and she is much more interested in what you're doing. She's like pretty gung-ho about going after the government on this. So she left you contact information. And it's Captain Brittany Summers of the Willow.
I'm gonna email her.
Okay. Yeah, she put it's actually like date stamped from the 1st. So it's taken 2 weeks to get to you. So you reply to her. What do you say?
I'm gonna send information about the law firm I'm using and the lawyers I have, and that I would be oh so joyed if she joined my class action.
Yeah, so you send that off, and it shows that our last known location was down around Garrick Zane in HO 405 is where she sent the message from. So it will, or maybe it's maybe a little further down than that, because I think I said 2 weeks, right? Yeah, so I think it's more like HO 306 is where she sent it from. But you send off a message to her, and we'll know in 2 weeks what she says. Let me do this.
Okie dokie.
Send message to Kath. Can you make a persuade roll against your charisma? Okay.
Have we left the planet yet?
Not yet.
Did we ever get the dog out of the pound?
Yes.
Ooh,
She did that last week, or Judith did.
I don't remember.
Yeah. She's still.
Oh, yeah,
because the dog's. Yeah, the
Maybe
dog's
it's
really
not
mad.
story.
Yeah. And then she bribed a guy, and then the dog was really mad at her. Continues to be mad at you, by the way.
Figured.
Price, how do you feel about ghost ships?
We finally gonna go after that thing?
Oh yeah.
Let's do it.
All right. I want to fill up. What's
Where was
that?
that last? 703?
Yeah. Why don't we jump to Minushi first?
0704.
So it's moved recently.
Yes.
Okay. I suggest we jump to Minushi,
All right, let's do
fill
it.
up, and then
All right.
jump the rest of the way.
Are we ready to bounce?
Huh? What'd you say? Okay, I guess I'm just gonna make a navigation roll then.
Okay, I'm gonna walk up to the bridge.
Okay.
I'm
So
that
there's
fast.
one navigation check that's going to get you to Minushi.
Yes.
I assume you're going to fill up there, subduct your one fuel.
I will.
In
filling up
cost, So you're
momentarily.
filled back up.
I'm currently doing life day junk. That
And then
is
make me
also 3 days.
3 more rolls.
And then is, if I remember correctly, 200 credits per unit of fuel? Let me look that up. I don't recall.
Let's see this guy. Let's throw thing. You all there?
I'm here.
Yep.
I'm just trying
Okay.
to look up how much fuel
Did you
costs.
do the thing, Tim?
I am.
Judith?
I'm working on figuring out the price for fuel.
Are you there, Judith?
Oh, I was muted. Sorry. I'm
Yes, you
currently.
paid for your gas, and then you got to
I,
make 3 more navigate rolls.
will be momentarily. I can't remember the price of fuel.
I think it's like 300 a unit or something.
Everything. I can't find it in a second. I'm just gonna put it at 300.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't find it. Screw it. Paying 600 for 2 units of fuel.
Okay.
Deal with it.
That's fine.
Alright.
I'm pretty sure that's what it is. If not, if it's too low, then you got a deal. If not, whatever.
I'm not concerned. We have plenty of money. Okay.
The
Another navigation roll. 1, 2, 3. All pass.
Yep. Yeah, so you get there no problem. Yeah, so you land in system. Now each one of these hexes, I'm sure I've mentioned this before, but this map is not a map of adjacency. It's a map. Well, it's not a map of adjacency in real space. It's a map of adjacency in spike space. So each one of these sectors is actually huge. It's absolutely massive, because it's not necessarily that Kanseco and Manushi, for instance, are stars that are in close proximity to one another. In fact, you might not even be able to see Kanseco from Manushi. They might be hundreds of thousands of light years apart. But in spike space, they're much closer together, and that's how you're traveling, so that's how it works. So when you land in system, you don't immediately see any signatures from the basilisk. You're gonna have to hunt for it. I'm trying to see. It's very difficult to do 2 things at once, I found. And I'm looking for the actual cost of fuel in my GM screen, and I don't see it. However, one of you needs to get on the scanners, which is computers check against your intelligence, to look for the basilisk and see where to go. And the way this is going to work, it's a extended check. So we're going to have you make a scanner check, and then someone's going to make a pilot check to follow, and then someone needs to make a navigation check to determine the path to take to get to where the scanners are indicating. So can you please assign the roles as you see fit?
I think it makes sense that Judith is the pilot.
Uh,
Guys, how are
I,
your computer skills these days?
It is a -1. I am not the computer user.
You were saying, Judith?
I have navigation and vehicle space at 1, so
Okay.
either one of
Makes
those
sense then.
makes probably a good thing. Do with it what you will.
I have computer at 0, so I think I should handle the computing.
Am I allowed to do both navigation and
No.
piloting?
One of you has to be doing it because you're doing it continuously. And so basically, if you screw up in piloting, you'll be off course, but you'll have moved. If you screw up in navigation, you'll be really off course. But it's potentially correctable by someone being a better pilot and noticing early that you're maybe not going the right direction. And then if you're off on scanners, you might just be going in the wrong direction. So you all have to kind of succeed together, and your total value is going to go against 1 DC. So basically, you're going to make 3 rolls. I'm going to sum them, and it's going to be against that DC to find the sucker.
So, what's your computer skill there, Tacitus?
0.
And your navigation is
0 as well.
and you have -1 on both there, Price?
Yep.
I'm slightly more inclined to let Price go computer, in my opinion, due to the fact of I feel it's less likely he's going to cause damage, maybe, if he's on the computer. Maybe.
All right, Price. Get your keyboard lasso ready.
Lasso's at the ready, sir.
Before we get going, have you all updated your goals to whatever you want them to be?
I'm adding a new goal. Find basilisk.
I'm just reusing the same goal from last time.
Okay.
And if I'm lucky, I'll find the price of fuel momentarily. Turns out I was using the free edition previously.
It's in the free edition.
I might have just missed it. It may.
Are you keeping your third goal price?
I don't have one. It's empty.
It doesn't look empty on my end. Current goals: unlock Matilda, locate Basilisk, don't die by Russians.
Oh, yeah, it's blank on mine.
Unless there are somehow Russians.
You might have to
Basilisk.
jump out of click in and then click out for it to update or something. There are no Russians out here as far as you can tell.
Fuck it, I'll leave it. Don't die by Russians.
Okay.
You can never expect.
It's going to be
Russian
really hard to die by Russians out here, so I'm going to go ahead and bump the difficulty up.
No one expects the Russian Inquisition.
Or I guess actually, I see the issue is don't die by Russians needs like a time scale, because technically you succeed at that all the time, right? So really that should be one.
I would assume like don't die by Russians until we find the basilisk.
Okay, I'm gonna put that in there.
Once we find the basilisk, though, all bets are off.
Okay. Cool. So it sounds like Judy's gonna be doing the flying, and Price is on the computers, and Tacitus is on navigation. Is that right?
Correct.
I think so.
Okay. So can I get a computer intelligence roll from you? Okay. Let me do some writing here. Basilisk mission. First round. 5. And can I get a navigation roll? So you clickety-clack on the computer. You don't really totally understand what you're seeing, but maybe Judy, you've probably like showed him what he needs to do to like look at everything. Okay. You give some instructions to Tacitus. Tacitus draws up. He pulls up the navigation screen, which is like this 3D hologram, and he's like charting a line. He's got like this little pencil or something. And he's basically writing in the middle of space with it. He's charting out this line between 2 points within the sector. Judy, can I get a pilot roll?
Yes. Against int, I would take it.
Yep. No, against your dexterity. You're piloting. So
subtract 1 from that.
okay. You got a 12. Okay, let me do GM roll.
Isn't that? Okay, never mind.
Okay. Which is 5, 6, 11. It's 30. It's 20. 33, 23. Okay. Is that right? No, this is wrong. Why is this wrong? Okay, it's 2, 5, and 6. It's 11, 12, 13. Okay. Yeah, so let's see what happens. I need to look at my mechanics for this guy. And okay, and then we're gonna roll D10. So, as you're flying, Judy, you notice that the instructions were not totally great. So it looks like you're heading towards an object. You can't quite make out what it is. You're too far away. But the navigation that Tacitus gave you is a little bit wonky. And you end up flying very close to a meteor field. Can you make a piloting test against your dexterity at a -1? Okay, so because of your deft piloting skills, you're able to navigate through this field without taking any major damage to the ship, and potentially hurting you in the future. Can you all make those same set of rolls from before again? So your computer check, navigation check, vehicle space. That's int, dex. Uh, 5 plus 13 plus 8. I roll my GM roll. And it's a 1, 9, 14. Okay, for a total of 27. Minus 13. 73. Okay. So again, this time, Judy, it looks like the navigation is correct. You gave some feedback to Tacitus. He improved things, but you get much closer to that object you were heading towards, and it turns out it's just a large asteroid. Let me see what happens. And the asteroid is actually in the midst of breaking up, and so there's some rocks that pelt the ship, and the ship takes 1 damage. Can you mark that on your ship sheet?
Given a second, yes. There's no HP on this particular set. Let's see.
It might be on the original sheet with the loadout.
It is. I'm just adding a column.
Okay.
Technically 2.
Okay. And once you're done with that, you can give me another set of rolls.
Okay. Let's see here.
Okay.
I'm gonna re-roll mine.
Okay.
Well,
That's 12, 19, minus my secret roll. 8 total. 8 equals 65. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, so you continue flying in here, and it just seems like you're kind of wandering, and basically you're in a search pattern. Clippy actually pops up on the little holographic navigation screen, and has got binoculars and is looking at the whole sector, trying to find and help you find this thing. And it looks like you haven't been able to find it yet. There's a few random little spikes of energy or whatever, but you're not able to really locate it. Nothing bad happens to the ship, but it's you didn't find anything either. So give me another round. Okay. So 4th round is 4, 7 is 11, 9 is 20. So you've searched now about half of the sector. Hang on. And so you're starting to figure out where you've already been, and you're not retreading that area. 12 is 53. But you still haven't found it yet, and you run into another. This time it's a little nebula area, and it's you fly into it at first, but it turns out there's a massive electrical storm going on in this nebula. And Judy, you knew that was a risk, but if you had to go around it, it would take days. It's probably been about a day right now, so it's. But if you went around that, it would take a week. So go ahead and bump the. I think you already did, but go ahead and bump the time.
Just did.
Also, actually, you traveled 1, 2, 3, 4, so you need to bump by another 12 days if you haven't already. So the
12
date.
days, you said?
Yeah, because you went Minushi, HO702, HO703.
Oh, those, yeah, I already bumped that.
Okay, so what's the date for you?
I got January 29th.
Okay. So it's been, like I said, one day. And if you went around, like, you could go around, but it would take weeks to get around it, and you'd run out of food probably before you finished. So you decided to go through it, but you do get pelted with some electrical storms. Can one of you make a tech post-tech roll to see how bad you're injured by these technical, like electrical storms?
How's our post-tech, guys?
I'm at 0, which I think is our best bet.
Yeah,
I am
I'm
also.
at -1.
I'm at 0 as well.
So one of you can help the other, but only one of you gets to make the roll.
I can help who Tassus out.
Okay, I'll make
I
a
got my
So,
roll.
ears off for a second. My wife said
Judith,
something.
yep, Judith, make your roll first. It's
I-
against your intelligence,
That's what I thought.
and then it's going to be against your dexterity, Tacitus. And she succeeds in helping you, so you get a +1.
Like a boss.
So does that mean assisted? Is there a +1?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, it's
I got
+1 in the assisted. Yeah, so despite the help of Judith, you're basically, as you're flying through, it's basically like a little EMP, and it just blows out a system. Makes it really difficult to fix, and you don't have the parts on hand. You'll have to get it repaired when you get back to civilization or when you get the parts. And they're just like normal parts, but you just don't have them. So take another 2 damage on the ship.
Okay.
What's our ship damage looking like there, Judith?
17 out of 20. We're at 85%.
All right.
Nice. Did you actually add a little column that calculates that?
No, I did the math in my head.
Oh.
I'm good at math.
Oh, that's sad. I want the little thing on there. It'd be like, shields are at 43.6%, Captain.
I will add a column for it.
If you had already added, I was going to give you XP.
Dang it.
I meant to do the XP overhaul, but honestly, I forgot about having to do this week. I'll get it done over Christmas. Okay, so I need another round of rolls. So this is round 5, by the way. Nice. And I'm going to roll one for... Oh, he did. Cool. 16, and that is 24. This round... 24. Excuse me. So I think, Judith, what happens here is that you get a report from Price, and you know it's wrong. Like, it's leading you back somewhere you've already been. And so you decide, screw it, I don't really care. I'm just going to drive in a direction. You tell Tassus, she's like, send us this way. And Tassus says, fine, and plots you a course, and you head on that direction. And it turns out that as you're heading on that direction, you actually start to see, like, this in the distance, exceptionally far away. It's probably thousands of kilometers away. You see this long, grayish brown shape in the distance. It's got a large tower kind of spiking off the top of it, and it's quite long. At this distance, it would easily be hundreds of kilometers long.
I point at it, yelling, "Ship ho!"
Don't call me a hoe. Yeah. Okay. So fifth. Let me see what happens. Okay. So yeah, as you're heading there, that electrical problem is starting to get a little bit worse. You're starting to see flickers in the ship lights. And Clippy is acting really weird. He's like looking around, and he seems scared, which you don't think is possible for an AI, but that's definitely how he looks. So nothing bad happens. You're just seeing these sort of flickers and so on. Yeah. So give me another round. Round 6. 8-7. That's a good one. Okay, 2, 10, 17. All right. So you start heading closer to that, and I think at this point you're kind of just navigating by eye more than space chart. Like you're using that to navigate around any anomalies, but mostly you're navigating by eye. And as you get closer, it becomes very apparent that what you're seeing is definitely a ship of some kind. And I have a picture. I just need to pull it up. In the meantime, give me one final round. I'm pretty sure you'll get there. Oh, I do need to see what happened, actually. Yeah, so you take another... So that electrical problem persists. You take one more damage from the electrical stuff. Oh, wow, that's a good roll. 29. Yeah, so I need to roll. Yeah, so you make it to the ship. Or you come up sort of within visual inspection range, and what you see is the following. As I find it. You see something. God damn it.
Something incredible.
Something absolutely astounding. I don't have it in here. Where did I put it? Fuck.
The biggest set of truck nuts the galaxy has ever seen.
It's totally what you see. I don't have it. Shit. I thought I had it. Is this it? No. Hang on. I'll find the ship that I'm thinking about.
There we go. I've added your percentage thingy to the sheet.
Yay! It makes me happy.
We are currently at 80% HP.
Nice. View image. Here we go. You see something that looks like... I'm going to borrow an Eve ship for this. It looks like this. Click. Paste. It looks like the big ship on that. It's got a little spire off the top of it. It's too small to see in that picture, but it's got like a couple of big long spires that are very shiny, but aren't very big. That wasn't the picture I was thinking of, but it's close enough. Yeah, and it's easily hundreds. You know, now that you're in visual inspection range, the scanners start to go off and pump out data onto the main screen, and it's hundreds of kilometers long. It is broadcasting a registry, which is it's saying MSS Basilisk, in old dialect of sort of the standard language, like the common, if you will. Common in this universe is English. They don't know it as that anymore. I don't think they call it English. And it's also morphed a little bit. It's sort of dialectically shifted as people moved out into the wider world. So you're not speaking something that's exactly what we would recognize as English. This ship is. The ship is using English like we know it. So there's this massive ship in front of you. It's filling up your entire screen. It looks as big as a small, like, moon almost. It's just huge. It's easily as wide as it is long, and it's quite big. It's broadcasting you just a total huge amount of information. Can I get a computers check from somebody, whoever wants to do it, to see how much of that information they can interpret?
I'll do it since I have, I think, the best.
Okay. Okay, yeah. So it's talking like the message that you're getting is essentially a mayday, and it's basically saying that for some reason they believe the ship has been contaminated with something. They're not sure what. but there's a huge amount of like just random deaths occurring on the ship, including every psychic they had. And so they can't navigate because they use psychics to do all their navigation. And they're basically having trouble navigating anywhere, and they're not sure how they're going to get back to civilization. So it details who to relay that message to, as well as the fact that they need any supplies that can be spared, especially renewables. So foodstuffs that you could plant on ship, that kind of thing. And it's specifying some locations where that you could dock if you wanted to.
I'm thinking we should dock.
Let's do it.
+1 for docking. Let's all dock.
Okay, so I need a pilot check to do the docking procedure.
I'm gonna re-roll that.
Yeah.
That's better.
Yeah, so you come around to the docking port, and you get up close to it, and you see that the like there's a force field turned on, and you didn't expect it because nobody uses these because nobody has the technology, and so you actually bump the ship into it, and you bounce off of it. You need to take a hull point of damage.
How much? It was
1 point. 1 point. And there's a chirp coming back from the system, and you recognize that as please transmit the code to lower this force field. And you immediately after receive a second message, which you also recognize as being a code to lower a force field. And the code is like a Mayday code, so it's like, hey, we're having trouble. Here's how you lower our force fields if you need to get in and help us. As a pilot, you know that would be only transmitted as like a super last resort.
Sorry, I'm partially distracted. Boss is IMing me about stuff.
Why is he making you do shit?
He's not making me do shit. He's asking me weird questions that just surprised me slightly.
Is it Jordan or Eric?
Jordan.
Weird.
Mainly of what's your degree in CS? If so, what languages were primarily taught and stuff?
Yeah, it's CV update time. That's all. So anyway,
transmit the code. Get the shield down.
So I assume you transmit the code and drop the shield and then dock. There was a DC on that to see if you noticed that first. That's what the pilot check was for. So, you get on the ship, and the ship seems to still have gravity. Like you notice it as you're flying in. You notice it pull at the ship and sort of right you, and you land, and some docking clamps wrap around your ship, and they actually seem to like grow out of the floor, almost like a plant. And they wrap around the base of your ship and secure it in place, and sort of make you part of the ship, which is just interesting to look at. It's the typing's really distracting. So why don't we take 5 minutes and you can tell Jordan to shut the hell up.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Let me just mute my mic for a minute then.
No, it's all right. I need to take 5 minutes and get some more water anyway. So.
Hey.
We take 5, and we only have like maybe half hour left. So, because I think we haven't been going to 11, so I'm okay with that.
Fair enough.
Okay, I'll be right back. All right. Who's here?
I'm good.
I am.
Also here.
Okay. So, all right. Yeah, so you land on the ship. The ship sort of reaches up from underneath you and grabs onto the struts of landing struts of your ship, and a message pops up on screen that says in English. Yeah, it's a little tough for you to read at first, but you kind of pick it up quickly. It says, "Welcome to the MSS Basilisk," and it gives you a status readout of the ship, and it says. Assigned complement 4,877, military 33,482, civilian. Current occupant or current assignment or like current population essentially 4.
Do you think he's counting us?
Maybe. And even if it's not, that tells us there's at least one person. Unless it's somehow counting Bandit, which I don't think Bandit's coming with us.
We could kill Bandit to check.
That is horrible. How could you say such a thing? It's Bandit.
That is pretty horrible, to be honest with you.
Despicable person.
I like that it was nonchalant too, just like not even an ounce of like.
It's great.
It'll be fine.
It's great because sometimes I mistakenly start believing that maybe Tacitus isn't completely fucking insane, and then you say something like that, and I'm reminded.
Well, let's put on some suits. We'll need to be careful.
Can we detect
you
if
also-
there's like life support on the Basilisk?
Yeah. So I mean, that same message probably tells you the status of life support, and it says oxygen is a little low, but generally speaking, the atmosphere in the ship is breathable. There are a few sections that are blown out. You should note that this place is as big as like a small planet. Like tons of people lived here. I mean, 30,000. It's like, well, maybe not a planet, but like a city. Is not an unreasonable
Comparison.
not an unreasonable comparison. Yeah. So
I don't want to get on that ship, man. It said all the psychics died.
Okay, Price, if you want to stay here and monitor the situation.
also you already are on the ship, and yeah. I mean,
I feel
technically
better-
speaking,
I feel better on our ship. I will hang out with the dog. We will bond.
and I think that Bandit's probably like on the bridge, and she hears Tacitus say we could kill dog, and makes the connection and like barks angrily, and then realizes that Price is looking to stay with her, and she comes up and sits next to you and be like, "You won't kill me. I'll stay with you. You seem to take umbrage at the notion of killing me for an experiment, so clearly you're worth hanging out with."
All right, Judith, let's mount up.
On what?
I'm just gonna grab my SMG.
I mean like mount up on what? Is there a
I grab
vehicle?
a broom from the corner and hand it to her.
Perfect. I've always wanted to be a witch.
Are you qualified on that thing?
I can be. Sexist pigs. And I just
Clippy
walk away.
puts on a like a witch's hat.
Thank you, Clippy. That's very sensitive of you.
He just smiles. He goes, "It looks like you're trying to be a cunt. Would you like help with that?"
No, thank you.
He goes, "Too bad, bitch," and then he like immediately pops off screen.
I love Clippy.
I'm gonna wear my vac suit just until we can get some readings. Little concerned about this contagion they mentioned.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, it's totally reasonable. That's how that works. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm trying to figure out. I got my quadcopter fucking finally. I'm trying to figure out how to charge the batteries on it.
Is that why you were late?
A little bit actually. I went to get it and I didn't get a chance to do my prep, so I needed some extra time. Because I went to go pick it up. Okay, so you're gonna wear your vac suit. What are you bringing with you? Make sure it's all in your gear list or otherwise noted.
Ooh, do we have any leftover cameras?
Let's see. You used 3 to put outside. You used 6 inside. I think I gave you 12. So yes.
So we've got 4.
3 inside, 6 outside. You had 12. Try that math again.
3.
There you go. I'm no mathematician. Wait. Yes, I am.
I thought
Okay.
mathematicians didn't work with numbers, but letters.
We work with numbers. We just don't. We're not calculators. I do a lot more with letters, certainly.
Fine.
I mean, there's a reason we call it number theory, right? Like,
God damn it, what have I opened?
we haven't opened anything.
Okay, I'm gonna bring the cameras. There might be use for them.
Okay.
I'm going to bring the SMG, body armor, and Lazarus patches.
Well, you can split up gear as well. You don't have to all take it yourself. You could share some or something, if you so chose.
I'm good.
Okay.
Same.
Alrighty. So, yeah, so you guys head off the ship. You're in this major big hangar. There is patina of dust on everything except where you just flew in and sort of in the few hundred feet of you. The hangar itself is hundreds of feet wide. There are cases lining a bunch of the walls and like sort of these, they're not cube walls, but they're like temporary walls that can move, and they're made of some kind of metal. And they're sort of lined with tools, and most of the tools are like broken or rusted, but there's all sorts of stuff over there. In the far end of the hangar, probably 200 or 300 feet away, is a large sort of hangar door. It's like basically a big garage door. And yeah, there's no other ships. There's no other like vehicles that are in this section. However, on your HUD of your backsuit, you see a readout from the ship, from the MSS Basilisk. You also see a little video feed of Price, and I feel like Price is probably like at the computer screen, and he's got like he's on the bridge still, but you can see him, and he's able to give you feedback about what he's seeing as well. Price, Clippy pops up on screen and says, "It looks like you're trying to explore a derelict ship. Would you like help with that?"
Yes.
And so as soon as you say yes, a whole bunch of information pops up on screen. You can see maps of the ship, and you can see different historical details that it's downloaded, like Clippy's downloading from the database, and like just general information about what the ship is, what it was used for, and like historical information, that kind of thing. You can dig through that stuff, and you can make the appropriate skill checks when we get there. However, I think that we should probably be done before we dig into this too much. So I think next time on Big Damn Heroes, we're going to explore the Basilisk and see its mysteries. And in particular, try to figure out maybe what happened to it, and then what stuff you can steal.
KK.
Take,
Well,
Acquire.
borrow.
gather together with without the permission of the original owner, who's probably dead, so it's okay.
There is at least one guy alive, apparently.
That's
Well,
not been proven yet.
It said 4. That's all you know.
Maybe we have a stowaway.
Maybe. And no, we're not testing it by killing Bandit.
Aw. There are 2
All right.
other crew members. Did my goal of finding the basilisk complete?
I think it did. If you had a goal of finding a basilisk, take 100 experience for that.
If you had a goal anything remotely like finding the Basilisk.
Excuse me.
If your goal was salvaging the Basilisk, that's not done. But does anybody else have any goals they want checked on? Nope.
Negative.
Yeah, so the locate Basilisk is definitely complete.